Today I'll talk about relax. For relax, I like to read books and do some outdoor activity. Today I'll mainly talk about two books that I like the most. And the first book is a Chinese book, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, written by Luo Guanzhong. In this book, there is a famous sentence to describe the ancient emperors' rise and fall. The empire, long divided, must unite. Long united, must divide. Thus it has ever been. Then I'll say something about this
First
book
of the
in
five
detail.
great works of traditional prose fiction, this master narrative transforms history into epic and has thereby educated and entertained readers of 5 centuries with unforgettable exemplars of martial and civic virtue, of personal fidelity and political treachery. The empire, long divided, must unite. Long united, must divide. Thus it has ever been. Echoing the rhythms of Chinese history itself, the monumental tale Three Kingdoms begins. As important for Chinese culture as the Homeric epics have been for the West, the 14th century masterpiece continues to be loved and read throughout China today. Three Kingdoms portrays a fateful moment at the end of the Han Dynasty, 206 BC to AD 220, when the future of the Chinese Empire lay in the balance. Fearing attacked by 3 rebellious states, the emperor sent out an urgent appeal for support. In response, 3 young men, the aristocratic Liu Xuande, the fugitive Lord Guan, and the pig butcher Zhang Fei, met to swear eternal brotherhood and fealty to their beleaguered country. Their vow set in motion the series of events that ultimately resulted in the collapse of the Han. Writing centuries later, Luo Guanzhong drew on, often told tales of this turbulent period to fashion a sophisticated narrative of loyalty and treachery, triumph and defeat, that came to epitomize all that was best and worst in the life of his country. Three Kingdoms is the tale, part historical, part legend and myth, of the fall of the later Han Dynasty of China. It chronicles the lives of those feudal lords and their retainers who tried to either replace the empire or restore it. While the novel actually follows literally hundreds of characters, the focus is mainly on the 3 families who would eventually carve out the 3 kingdoms from the remnants of the Han. The Liu family in the Shu kingdom led by Liu Bei, the Cao family in Wei led by Cao Cao, the Sun family in Wu eventually led by Sun Quan. The book deals with the plots, personal and army battles, intrigues, and struggles of these families to achieve dominance for almost 100 years. This book also gives you a sense of the way the Chinese view their history, cyclical rather than linear, as in the West. The first and the last lines of the book sum this view up best. The empire, long united, must divide, and the empire, long divided, must unite. If you are at least a little interested in Chinese history, ancient or modern, and culture, this book is a must
book
read.
is an English book, Dreams from My Father, written by Barack Obama. There are many good reviews about this book. Review from The Times. Whatever else people expect from a politician, it's not usually a beautifully written personal memoir steeped in honesty. Barack Obama has produced one. Next, I want to talk more
Before
about
Barack
this book.
Obama became a politician, he was, among other things, a writer. Dreams from My Father is his masterpiece, a refreshing, revealing portrait of a young man asking the big questions about identity and belonging. This book covers the events of his life up until his entry into law school. Obama's father is an economist, and his mother is a teacher. They separated when Obama was 2. After their divorce, his mother married a Javanese surveyor from Indonesia. Their family moved to Jakarta. Obama had 4-year childhood there. When Obama was 10, he returned to Hawaii under the care of his grandparents and later his mother for the better educational opportunities available there. Obama formed an image of his absent father from stories told by his mother and her parents. He saw his father only one more time when his father came to Hawaii for a month's visit. The elder than his father died in a car accident. When he entered Occidental College, he described his living was full of with drug, and alcohol. After 2 years at Occidental, he transferred to Columbia University in New York City, where he majored in political science. Upon graduation, he worked for a year in business. He moved to Chicago, where he worked for a non-profit doing community organizing on the city's south side. Obama recounts the difficulty of their experience, as his program faced resistance from entrenched community leaders and apathy on the part of the established bureaucracy. In this book, Obama mainly tells his life when he was young. In these stories, I can see racial discriminations everywhere. He was born in Hawaii, and he is an octoroon. Genes decided his dark brown skin, which makes his life painful. He was overwhelmed with indignation and never stopped fighting against that. He's not white, but he's successful and gets respect. After reading this book, I conclude that the 2 elements, his family and his endeavor, makes him successful. First, his family. His family played an important role when he was young. His grandparents, and especially his mother. What makes surprise is that Obama got married with the permission of his grandparents. At that time, the discrimination for Negroes is so serious that his father would be strung up from a tree for merely looking at his mother the wrong way. As Obama says, that the word miscegenation is humpbacked and ugly. But he has a mother that was willing to marry a black person and has grandparents that accept their black son-in-law. I think it is kind of family that makes Obama believe that racial discrimination will be removed in the future. It is this kind of family that makes Obama didn't bear the unfair treatment of his color and tried hard to fight against it. When he was a child, his family protected him from racial discrimination. So, when a boy called him coon at school, he never felt afraid to defend himself by giving him a bloody nose. I think his early environment and education is important, that he formed his values from his grandparents and mother, that he is not different from others, instead lower than the white when he was born. That makes him different from any others, the black or the white. He belongs to neither of them. He thought he has no differences with the white, while actually he was treated unfairly or with disparagement, which precisely made Obama feel helpless. If he was a common Negro who was treated unjustly, he would not feel so frustrated. The values and beliefs he insisted were broke down until he was teenage, because it is real difficult for a young student to fend off the darkness of racial discrimination. Its power is so great that can make people abandon himself. He was addicted to pot and booze. Like any other desperate Negroes, he was haunted by the question who he was. This degenerate could push his question out of his mind. Luckily, he didn't lose himself for a long time. That he regained himself should be owed to his mother. I think this experience gave him the determination to do something for his fellows after he walked out of the misery. Secondly, it is himself that makes him a legend. He accepted who he was after the loss. Later, he took the advantage of his identity. Meanwhile, he began to think as well. With self-reflection and self-awareness, he restarted his life. He succeeded in kicking his drug habit when the experts said that almost nobody can totally get rid of drug once they take it. What Obama did showed his great perseverance. He participated in a variety of activities organized by Black Student Union, including the protests against racial discrimination. When he graduated, he decided to work for communities and take it as his career. He didn't succeed at the beginning. He is the one who clearly knows what he wants. He never gave up and kept his seeking for his belief until he went to Chicago, where Negroes gathered. He spent 3 years working to improving the living conditions of his fellows in South Chicago. This time, he knew that he wanted to enter politics. He knew, so he set up preparing his determination. He applied to Harvard Law School and did a good job there. He is such a clear-headed, ambitious, and industrial man. I can see that Obama achieved success through his own efforts. Success never results from intelligence, but one's qualities like confidence and perseverance. We can't deny that he cannot have these qualities if he doesn't have such a family that gives him encouragement, strength, and love.
Enjoy! Yeah, enjoy!